Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we will chant one verse on this special day from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 5, text number 204. Is it visible? It's a very simple verse. Jaya Jaya Nityananda Charanara Vinda Yanha Haite Painu Shri Radha Govinda Jaya Jaya Nityananda Charanara Vinda Yanha Haite Painu Shri Radha Govinda Jaya Jaya Nityananda Charanara Vinda Yanha Haite Painu Shri Radha Govinda Jaya Jaya Nityananda Charanara Vinda Yanha Haite Painu Shri Radha Govinda Jaya Jaya Nityananda Charanara Vinda Yanha Haite Painu Shri Radha Govinda Jaya Jaya Nityananda Charanara Vinda Yanha Haite Painu Shri Radha Govinda Jaya Jaya Nityananda Charanara Vinda Yanha Haite Painu Shri Radha Govinda. Synonyms: Jaya Jaya, all glories to Nityananda, of Lord Nityananda. Charana Aravinda, the lotus feet. Yanha Haite, from whom? Painu, I got. Sri Radha Govinda, the shelter of Sri Radha and Govinda. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: all glory to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained Sri Radha Govinda. Translation with repetition: all glory to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained Sri Radha Govinda. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Narottam Das Thakur, who is famous for his poetic composition known as Prarthana, Srila Narottam Das Thakur, who is famous for his poetic composition known as Prarthana, has lamented in one of his prayers, "When will Lord Nityananda be merciful upon me, so that I will forget all material desires?" Srila Narottam Das Thakur confirms that unless one is freed from material desires to satisfy the needs of the body and senses, one cannot understand the transcendental abode of Lord Krishna, Vrindavana. He also confirms that one cannot understand the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna without going through the direction of the six Goswamis. In another verse, Narottam Das Thakur has stated that without the causeless mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, one cannot enter into the affairs of Radha and Krishna. Thus ends the wonderful transcendental Bhakti Vedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So it's a very auspicious day, the appearance day of Lord Nityananda, or Nityananda Prabhu, known as Nityananda Trayodashi. So for some of us who, maybe for many of us or for most of us, when we practice this sadhana bhakti, sometimes we get doubt whether I'll be able to do it. Whether this vow that I have taken of chanting 16 rounds, following 4 regulative principles, which I'm not able to do always, or where I am feeling that probably this is too difficult, or this services will I be able to do, or what will happen to me? All those weaknesses when it comes lurks in our mind, and we see if I'm the fit candidate for this, then we have hope, because there is the appearance day of Nityananda Prabhu, the most merciful incarnation of the Lord. That even if I am the fallen of the fallen, the most fallen, still I can receive the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. In the Vedas, there is one mention of one particular lecture of Srila Prabhupada, where Prabhupada arrives in Atlanta, and he was about to give his arrival address. Prabhupada has traveled many countries, many continents in fact. And he came and he was having the darshan of the deities in the altar. And it was Nitai Gauranga deities. And Prabhupada was just contemplating and meditating. And he became so choked up, his voice got so choked up, he just spoke these few words, that these two personalities from Bengal are traveling all over and distributing their mercy. And you just serve them and become the recipient of their mercy. And with that, just Prabhupada closes and stops. So, who are these two transcendental personalities who are here, and what is their mercy that we are talking about? So, growing up, if somebody says that, do you know about Lord Ram? For those of us who are from India, maybe we can say, yes, I have read Ramayana, I'm aware of Lord Ram and Lakshman. Or maybe Krishna and Balaram, we might have heard a little bit here and there, and we worship also. But who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Very difficult. I mean, even though I am from India, I am born in Orissa, never heard of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If I have never heard of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, forget about Nityananda Prabhu. Who is Nityananda Prabhu? No idea. Imagine the challenge that Prabhupada was confronted with when he was a young man and he met his spiritual master for the first time in 1922. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave him the instruction that you must preach the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Western country. In India itself, we are finding it difficult. Who is Chaitanya? And Prabhupada was having this challenge of spreading the message of Chaitanya all over the world. Prabhupada, of course, took it very seriously, but it took him 44 years before he could come here and could establish this, message of Chaitanya, or could spread this message of Chaitanya. So, one thing that comes to our mind is, why does this Lord appear here? Of course, the question that remains is, even though we read Ramayana, or even though we may have heard of, or even though some scholars read Ramayana, the divinity of Lord Ram is always a question mark, is always doubtful. Why did he banish Mother Sita? Some such questions come, and it is very difficult for us to accept the divinity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Some people say that, okay, maybe you were born in India, you had heard about Ramayana, and still you don't know about Lord Ram, so it is your fault. But I am born in a country where there is no Ramayana, I've never heard of. So I'm fine. No, in Ishopanishad, it is mentioned, Asurya Lokate Nama. People who are faithless, they are born in a place which is, surrounded by faithless people. So it is not that the Lord has deliberately put you in that situation, or in that kind of a country, or in that kind of a circumstance, because we would have had some desire to become faithless, that we take birth in the faithless country. So the question is, why does the Lord appear? Why the Lord has to come? In Bhagavad Gita, before the appearance of the Lord is mentioned, it is mentioned why we take birth in this material world. In one of the passages, it's mentioned, why do we take birth in this material world? The answer is, which the chapter that we are reading in the morning, 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Ichcha dvesha samuthena dvanda mohena bharata sammoham sarva bhutani sarge yanti parantapa. Ichcha dvesha samuthena. So we want to enjoy in this material world, and dvesha, we are envious of engaging in devotional service. Very simple, simply put in that way. We want to enjoy the material senses, and we are averse to engage in devotional service. Dvesha, that is envy in the heart. Not just envy in the heart for devotional service, envy also manifests in various ways. I'm envious of other people. I'm born in a particular country, so I'm bound to accept. I'm Indian, I'm American, so if I accept that I'm an Indian, I'm an American, automatically one country becomes my enemy. Pakistan is okay, they're enemy, so I have to accept. So there is Ichcha and Dvesha grossly there in our hearts. And if you ask people, what are you trying to do here in this material world? So people are saying, this material world is meant for my enjoyment. After all, I'm young, I've got beauty, I've got wealth, I've got power. All of this I'm using for my enjoyment. What about happiness? Happiness depends. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm not. But the whole goal is that I want to become happy, and this material world is a place which is given for me to become happy. I was reading in one of the purports, in somewhere or in the lectures a few days back, where Prabhupada is saying, if you want to become happy, why do you want to become happy in this planet? So, hold on, what do you mean by in this planet? So if you go and, if you watch any National Geographic or some, what do you call the other channels? Discovery and all those things, you will find even the best of the Nobel laureates, they are saying this is the only planet where living entities exist. All other places are dark, desolate, there's hardly anybody. But how Prabhupada is saying that, why do you want to become happy in this planet only? But it's a fact. Those of us who would have lived in some village, Padri, which village you are from? Pali. In Pali, imagine if somebody says, I'm a rich man. Okay. Maybe that person has got a two-wheeler. Maybe he has got a color TV or something. And he is considered to be a rich man. So somebody who is living in the city, he says, what is this? A two-wheeler and a color TV is the yardstick of being rich? Look at us, we live very opulently. People who are in India, they feel that, somebody who's going to US, kya life hai baba? But the person who is in the US is struggling how much that he only knows. I was seeing one interview of a very rich CEO. He's saying, I'm just having an ordinary millionaire's life, nothing great. It's as if, what else you want? Maybe, some of the cars that we dream of, some of the people have those cars and they feel, what's big deal? I've got some cars, something like that. So, the happiness that we are trying to experience is also very relative. We think this is what is the happiness that I should get, and I'm supposed to experience this happiness in this material world in this way, and I'm endeavoring hard for this. At least the statement of Prabhupada opens new vistas that there are other planets also exist, and I can experience bigger happiness in those places. So why does the Lord appear? And as I was mentioning that before that, the question comes is Ichha Dvesha Samuthena Dvanda Mohena Bharata. That we living entities are here because of Ichha, because of our desire to enjoy, and because of the envy towards devotional service. So the Lord comes here to give that unlimited happiness that we are looking after. We are actually Sat, Chit, and Ananda, but because of these three programs of Asat, Achit, and Nirananda, we are struggling hard to find real happiness, the real bliss. And the Lord comes and distributes this freely. In Bhagavad Gita, again, the 7th chapter that we are reading, there is one verse which comes where Krishna says, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. Mai protamidam sarvam sutre maniganaiva. Mattah parataram, there is no other truth which is superior to me. He is the ultimate truth. Krishna himself asserts, it's his own words. Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. So that same Supreme Lord, that same Supreme Absolute Truth expands as Balaram. As the first expansion is Balaram. And that Balaram comes to, or when he comes as Nityananda Prabhu, he comes only to give us that eternal happiness that we are seeking after. The word expansion is very difficult to perceive by a conditioned living entity. What is the expansion that we are aware of? What expansion you are aware of? Kuch bhi nahi. No, you stand before your mirror, you see your reflection. That is what is, I am here, but another reflection I am able to see. Or let's say there is a live telecast which is going on, and if I am sitting here in multiple TVs, you can see that I am appearing there. But whatever movements I am doing here, if I'm, if I have raised my right hand, in all those TVs, I'll also have raised right hand. But expansion, which Krishna is talking about, which is the first expansion of the Supreme Lord, Balaram, they have complete different characteristics, even the different mindsets. One is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the other one is a Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead, who wants to serve. The idea of this lording over that we have, it is coming from the Lord because we are part and parcel of His. But the first expansion of the Lord is coming to serve. He is showing by His example. He expands in so many ways to serve, to facilitate Krishna's pastimes, leelas. That is Nityananda Prabhu. So the verse that we spoke today, Jaya Jaya Nityananda Charanaravinda Yanha Haite Painu Sri Radha Govinda. Jaya Jaya Nityananda Charanaravinda Yanha Haite Painu Sri Radha Govinda. All glory to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained Sri Radha Govinda. Yesterday in the class, Prabhu was mentioning that the pastime of Minaketan Thakur or Minaketan Mishra? Mishra. Ramdas. And Minaketan? Gunarnava Mishra. Okay. And how, who was lamenting? Was it Krishnadas Kaviraj? That he didn't give respect to Nityananda Prabhu? Minaketan Ramdas. So that lamentation, this was the lamentation felt by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, right? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was lamenting that whoever this Minaketan, is not giving enough respect to Nityananda Prabhu. He has respect for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he left from that place, isn't it? And same Nityananda Prabhu appears in the dream of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and tells him, forget about all these things, go to Vrindavan. Go to Vrindavan and all perfection will come to you. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami follows. He not only goes to Vrindavan, gets shelter in the abode of the Lord, also gets the association of pure devotees like the Goswamis, and is able to compose the wonderful Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you see all the pastimes, Narottam Das Thakur, great poet, which Prabhupada is mentioning here, known for his composition called Prarthana. So Narottam Das Thakur also gets an instruction from Nityananda Prabhu that you go to a river, because he was confused what to do, what not to. I forgot the name of that river or pond, and you go and drown yourself in that, Prema Lila, Prema Lali or something. You go and drown yourself in that pond, and you'll experience transcendental, ecstatic Krishna Prema. And he does that. So everywhere, or you see the pastime of Raghunath Das Goswami, where Raghunath Das Goswami was a pound and selling man. He wanted to come and join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, tried many times, failed. His mother is telling that we should bind him with some chain, and his father says, well, that is not going to work because he has the opulence of Indra and the beauty of an Apsara-like wife, and yet he is not bound. How can some material chain bind him? Ultimately, he goes and meets Nityananda Prabhu at Panihati, receives the blessings of Nityananda Prabhu. When Nityananda Prabhu keeps his lotus feet on Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami knew that now the time has come. I will go and get shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the point is, Nityananda Prabhu's mercy is very much required, very much essential for receiving the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabodhananda Saraswati, he says there are three things which are important for receiving the lotus feet of Radha Krishna or Radha Govinda. The first is we need to have mercy of Radharani to get Krishna. But to get mercy of Radharani, we should get mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will give his mercy only if Nityananda Prabhu gives his mercy. Nityananda Prabhu is so merciful, so compassionate, doesn't see Patra and Apatra. Whoever comes, he wants to deliver. That is his mood. And if we somehow pray to Nityananda Prabhu that, anyway in my life I am the most fallen. I've got all the weaknesses, all the desires to enjoy, filled with them. Let me ask you this question, Tila, for you. Okay, you have two options. The question is two answers. If given a chance, somebody says that you can go back home, back to Godhead, fulfilling all your material desires. A. B. You can go back home, back to Godhead right now. Which one will you take? That's the politically correct answer, but honestly speaking, I'm saying we are not ready, isn't it? We have so many material desires. We want to do this, we want to do that. We want to enjoy in this way, in that way. So our desire to go back home, back to Godhead is not really strong. I want in deep within in my heart, so many wishes, so many desires are there. If only those get fulfilled, then only I'll think of Krishna is ready to say, now if your desire is strong, you come. But we are only not ready. So we need the blessings of Guru or Nityananda Prabhu's representative to remove all those desires which are strongly there in our heart, which is acting as a hindrance to receive the mercy or to get shelter in the lotus feet of Krishna. So Nityananda Prabhu was born in Ekachakra Dham to Hadai Pandit, Hadai Oj. Mother's name, some Ojha, what is it? Huh? I don't remember. Prabhavati, okay. Padmavati. So anyway, so the names are is there, but the important thing is Nityananda Prabhu was born into in the family of Hadai Pandit and Padmavati in Ekachakra Dham, and he was whatever the mentions are there, like he was busy, he was making he was participating in so many plays, and in one of those plays he was playing the part of Lakshman. And he was so deeply immersed and absorbed in that in one of the scenes where Lakshman is unconscious, being struck by the arrow of Indrajit, he was doing that part, and he was actually unconscious. And he had told that somebody has to bring that Sanjeevani and then put it on me, and then I'll come back to my consciousness. Until that time, he was actually unconscious. And then people were wonderstruck, like what has happened, what to do now? And somebody brought some Sanjeevani and did something, and then he came back to consciousness. And so the other people were very curious, how do you know all these things? Or how can you be so absorbed in all these things? I don't know what Nityananda Prabhu would have said. Maybe, I was there actually when it was happening. I was the one who was there in that. So like that he grew up, and when he came to his teenage, this thing in 13 years, 12 or 13 years, a sannyasi comes to his house. And this sannyasi, some people say it is Lakshmipati Tirtha. Somebody says somebody else, some exalted sannyasi. And as a sannyasi comes to the house of Hadai Pandit, he served him very nicely. Very nicely he served him. So the sannyasi said, I have a desire. So he said, okay, tell me what you want. I'm ready to fulfill whatever your desires are. So the sannyasi says, I want your son to come and assist with me. He should come and he should assist me in all my pilgrimage that I'm doing. He should come with me. So Hadai Pandit was heartbroken. I mean, he had no desire of giving his only son as assistant to that sannyasi, but very reluctantly he gave. In that context, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is this verse which comes, Bhavat Bidha Bhagavatas Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho Tirthi Kurbanti Tirthani Swantas Thena Gadabrata. Bhavat Bidha Bhagavatas Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho. Those pure devotees of the Lord, they carry the Lord in their heart. Bhavat Bidha Bhagavatas Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho. They are Swayam, they are actually pilgrim personified. They carry the Lord, since they are carrying the Lord in the heart, whichever place they go, they make it as a place of pilgrimage. So Nityananda Prabhu went along with this sannyasi and traveled with him for 20 years, not a month or two. But look at the big-heartedness of his father, because he gave a word that I will give anything that you ask. He gave. He gave. Not easy to give one son to somebody like this, but he knew that this is the most important thing, this is the most valuable thing, and he did that. He gave it. He gave Nityananda Prabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu traveled, and ultimately he was there in Vrindavan. And in the meantime, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was known as Nimai Pandit, who was in Nadia, Navadvip, his fame and glories were spreading as a big scholar, as a big logician, as a big scholar in Sanskrit. He was growing up, and then all of a sudden, when his father died, he went to Gaya for doing his final rites. That is the time when he met Ishwarapuri, and that was the transformation for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nityananda Prabhu, all these years he was traveling with this sannyasi, but there is hardly any mention of his preaching. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Ishwarapuri, and Ishwarapuri says, Murkha tumi nahi tumara Vedanta adhikar. You are a fool. You don't have a right to read Vedanta. What you should do, you should just chant the names of the Lord. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took that seriously and started. Of course, these are all pastimes. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started chanting the names of the Lord. And the moment he started chanting the names of the Lord, he started experiencing the ecstasies. What is that verse? Japite japite karila pagal. Kiva mantra dela tume, kiva tar bala. Japite japite karila pagal. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came back after taking that mantra from Ishwarpuri and told, what mantra you have given, O Gosai? That mantra, when I am chanting, that mantra is, I'm having goosebumps. My hairs are standing on end. Japite japite karila pagal. I'm becoming mad. Then Ishwarapuri says one verse which is found in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is considered to be the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. Any verse that you can think of which is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam? तत्परत्वेन निर्मलम, वो भागवतम में भी नहीं है. ऋषिकेन ऋषिकेश सेवनम भक्तिरुच्यते. It's not in Bhagavatam. Which verse is the essence of Bhagavatam? Sarva Papa Pranasanam. No. Try some more. It's also not in Bhagavatam, but that was the firm conviction which Prabhupada had when he came to the Western country. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kavunai. Nitya Das. That's also not in Bhagavatam. The essence of Bhagavata. From the Bhagavata, which is the essence of Bhagavata. Which one? Nivritta Tarshay Rupagiya Mana Bhavo Swadhat Chotra Manu Bhiramat Ka Uttama Shloka Gunanuvadat Bina Pasugnat. What is that? Anyway, no, that's not the one. Dharma to Bhakti Radhokshade Ahetuki Apratihata Yanatma Suprasidati. Even not that one. Edecham Sakalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Loke Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. Not that one. As per Ishwarapuri, what he spoke to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very powerful verse. Atro paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu sivadam tapatrayon mulanam Srimad Bhagavatam Mahamuni krite kimba parereshwara sadhyo hridi avaruddhyate atra kritibhi shushrushvi tatshanat. Give up all kinds of cheating religion. Hare Nama eva kevalam kalo nastyeva 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 gatiranyatha. Not from Bhagavatam, but no. But it is in the right direction. Prabhu's this thing. Kaler dosa nidhe rajan. Nama? Hare Namanu Kirtanam. What is that verse? 2.1.5. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma. No. Bhagavat Shrotavyas Kirtitavyas. Etavan Sankhya. No. Where is that verse? Hare Namanu Kirtanam. That is not the one, but I just... Etad nirvidyamananam yoginam yogan... Ichchata kudambhayam nripandrinitam Hare Namanu Kirtanam. No, not that one. Which one, bro? Swadharma Parinishta. No. Etavan Yoga Sankhyaabhyam Swadharma Parinishthaya Janma Labha Parapumsan Anta Narayana Smriti. No. Okay. No, Mataji, no, nothing. You are not trying anything. Mataji, Lilia. Google laga ke. That is the verse. So this verse comes in the 11th canto, 11 to 40. Evam Bratah Sopriya Nama Kirtya Jatanuraga Drutachitta Uchchai Hasati Atharodhati Rauti Gayati Unmadavan Rityati Lokabahya. Beautiful verse. Evam brata swapriya nama kirtya. Evam brata swapriya nama kirtya. The goal of chanting Hare Krishna mantra, when we are chanting this mantra which has been given to you, when we are chanting properly, Evam brata swapriya nama kirtya jatanuraga drutachitta uchchai, when we chant with loud sounds, hasati, atharoditi, rauti gayati, then there will be a state of madness or ecstasy when somebody will laugh, somebody will cry, rauti gayati will sing, dance, unmadavan nrityati lokabahya. He will forget about what people are thinking about him, people's opinion. That is the power of chanting the holy name of the Lord. The exact translation is, by chanting the holy name of the Supreme Lord, one comes to the stage of love of Godhead. Then the devotee is fixed in his vow as an eternal servant of the Lord, and he gradually becomes very much attached to a particular name and form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one comes to the stage of love of Godhead. First thing is that one comes to the stage of love of Godhead. Then the devotee is fixed in his vow as an eternal servant of the Lord, and he gradually becomes very much attached to a particular name and form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As his heart melts with ecstatic love, he laughs very loudly, or cries or shouts. Sometimes he sings and dances like a madman, for he is indifferent to public opinion. Unmadavan nrityati lokabahya. So this is the essence of Bhagavatam as per Ishwarapuri. And he was very happy that yes, Kiva mantra dale kiva tara bolo, japite japite kadla pagala, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Ishwarapuri was very, very happy. So after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decides to go to Vrindavan. But somehow he lands up in Navadvip, where there are other 4 associates of Chaitanya were already present, which is Advaita Prabhu, whose appearance we celebrated, Advaita Acharya. Then Srivas Pandit, he was also there, and Gadadhar is also there. Only one person who was missing is Nityananda Prabhu. And Nityananda Prabhu was in Vrindavan. So the moment he heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has started his Sankirtan movement, he came to Navadvip, Nadia. And he came, and there is a place called Ishodyan in Navadvip, Nandan Acharya's house. He was staying there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent who are Haridas Thakur and Srivas. Who's Gadadhar Pandit? Radharani. And Srivas is Narad. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Srivas and Haridas Thakur to go and get Nityananda Prabhu. Just go and get, he is now here, you go and get him. So both of them go to find out where Nityananda Prabhu is, and they could not find. And our Acharyas comment, Haridas Thakur is Brahma, and Srivas Pandit is Narad Muni. Narad Muni is a transcendental spaceman. Brahma is the creator. The creator and the transcendental spaceman together could not find where Nityananda Prabhu is, who is Guru Tattva. So to get Guru also, it requires mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or it requires the mercy of Krishna to get a proper, bona fide, genuine, authorized Guru. Without the mercy of the Lord, we cannot come to a proper Guru. Depending upon our sincerity, when we are ready, when we want to go and approach Krishna, when we have understood the truth of this material world, then there is a mercy of the Lord which ensures that we get the Guru, a proper Guru. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself comes, and then he goes and sees that Nityananda Prabhu is there in the house of Nandan Acharya. They meet, they embrace, and there is an explosion of Krishna Prema. Right? What is that? This Panchatattva, this five principles, when they came together, they plundered the Krishna Prema and distributed. So the verse is like, in the Adilila, the first chapter, second verse, where this verse comes, Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Sahodito Gaudadaye Pushpavanto Chitro Sando Tamonudo. Both, it is together, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, when they came, Gaudadaye Pushpavanto Chitro Sando Tamonudo. They have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Gauda to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and thus wonderfully bestow benediction upon all. And then after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, we were hearing the pastime of, how Nityananda, the most iconic pastime is, delivering of this Jagai and Madhai. But there are a lot of things that we can learn. We saw yesterday the aspect where Prabhu was mentioning that how Nityananda Prabhu wants to glorify Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wants to give the credit to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even though he was the one who went and delivered this Jagai Madhai. There is another significant thing in that pastime, very, very, very interesting pastime, which also is very instructive for all of us. So, of course, we all know that, Nityananda Prabhu, when he heard that there was a commotion and he wanted to know what's going on, and somebody told this Jagai Madhai is at the worst of, this thing, they're the drunkards, women hunters, they do gambling, they eat all kinds of abominable things. So Nityananda Prabhu was confused. Oh, he's a drunkard. Very good, very good. Oh, he's a women hunter. Oh, even nice. Okay. Oh, he's also a meat eater. Oh, very good. Oh, he's the right candidate who should receive Chaitanya's mercy. Because if he gets Chaitanya's mercy, then Chaitanya's glories will be spread all over. And they go, as we were hearing yesterday. It was Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu who goes, isn't it? They both go, and when they see that, and when Nityananda Prabhu is requesting Jagai Madhai, please chant Hare Krishna mantra. He said, who are these? Nobody even dare go there, even though they were, born in the family of Brahmanas. Nobody even dare go and talk to them anything. They quarrel with other people, or if there is nobody, then they'll quarrel amongst themselves. They'll be drunken, and then they'll just fight, quarrel. So Nityananda Prabhu, when he says this, as we all know, and those days the fashion was to drink alcohol from mud pots. Right? That was the fashion, and so they were drinking, and from one of those empty, broken mud pot, Madhai, he hit Nityananda Prabhu. And there was blood coming out of his head. And then this news reached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Some onlookers, they saw and they rushed to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to inform him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes with his 4 hands, this thing with the disc, about to kill these 2 people, these miscreants. But Nityananda Prabhu says, this incarnation you are not supposed to kill, you are not supposed to carry any weapon. You are supposed to show your mercy. So, and somebody told actually, Madhai, when he was trying to, so in Bengal they have this thing that they make the name, their names were Jagadananda, Madhavananda, but they became Jagai and Madhai. So Madhai, when he wanted to hit again Nityananda Prabhu, Jagai, stopped him. No, don't do that. These are very saintly people. You should not be doing this. So this thing also went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ears, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately forgave Jagai. And Nityananda Prabhu, Madhai, when Jagai was forgiven, Madhai says, everything we have done together. We have been partner in crime. We did all sinful activities together. Now that you have forgiven Jagai, you should also forgive me. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I'll only forgive if you take forgiveness from Nityananda Prabhu. Right? So I think it is in Chaitanya Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forgave both of them, his golden hue body became black. And of course he was still beautiful, but it became black, and then this blackness also disappeared from his body. So Advaita Acharya was very curious to find out what happened. So he said, all their sinful activities, I took it, and those sinful activities were there in my body. And then Advaita Acharya questioned, now where did it disappear to? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu answered that it disappears and goes and sits in the heart of a person who does Vaishnava Aparadh. So Vaishnava Aparadh is so dangerous. All those bad qualities manifests in a person's heart who does Vaishnava Aparadh. Anyway, after this incident, the Jagai Madhai were completely transformed. They became Vaishnava. They made a ghat over there for people to come and take bath easily. They will wash the feet of the Vaishnavas. And, even to the extent, Madhai keeps some stones. If somebody feels hatred, oh, you were those 2 people who were doing all those sinful activities. You were the one who bet Nityananda Prabhu. So he will keep stone. You want to hit me, you hit me. That much of transformation. It was all possible by Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. Worst of the worst also can be transformed. So that is why we have hope, provided we genuinely ask and seek, like I was telling, genuinely seek. Oh my God, so many material desires I have. Oh Nityananda Prabhu, please bless me. Please accept me. I was hearing in one place, it is mentioned, the most valuable thing that you can get in this world, the most valuable metal is, don't think too much, is gold. Okay. Now you'll say platinum or something else, it's gold only. And but more valuable than the gold is a touchstone, because the touchstone can convert anything to gold. But is there anything more valuable than the touchstone? There are Vaishnavas who are considered more valuable than the touchstone because they can produce touchstones, and these touchstones can transform people's hearts. So there was a memory of Prabhupada which I was hearing. Prabhupada memories are so wonderful, actually, so amazing. There was one devotee who was recollecting when Brahmananda Prabhu passed his body. He was talking about Brahmananda Prabhu. So Brahmananda Prabhu was giving a class, and after the class was over, he was very emotional. He was talking about Srila Prabhupada and all those things. And then the class got over, and somebody asked a question. Looks like you are considering Prabhupada to be God. So Brahmananda Prabhu paused for a moment, and he said, that mistake I did once. We all did. I don't know if you know this, but they were considering Prabhupada to be God, and they were trying to worship and all. And he said again, actually Prabhupada is more than God. More than God. And he said, why? Because he came to the Lower East to save me from this material rot. He came to Lower East, some filthy place, to save me. So it's very moving, actually. There is a verse in Bhagavatam. It says, Tapyante loka tapena sadhava prayaso janaha paramaradhanam tadhi purushasya akhilatmanaha. Tapyante loka tapena sadhava, which is the highest form of worship? Which is the highest form of worship to the Lord? Not sitting in the comforts of your house and not, coming out. Only on some few occasions, on a festival, something, we come and we just stand before the deity, think that the Lord is only there in the deity form, and worship and go back. That is not the highest worship. What is the highest worship? Tapyante lokatapena sadhava prayaso janaha paramaradhanam tadhi purushasya akhilatmanaha. When people who are suffering, who are going through all kinds of material miseries, one goes all the way, taking so much of austerity, penance and sacrifice. No need, but he takes to deliver them. That is considered paramaradhanam tadhi. Like Prabhupada, like Nityananda Prabhu. No need to go to some place. Even Advaita Acharya is telling, Baba, there are so many other humble, nice, meek people are there, we can go. He is going all the way to deliver Jagai and Madhai. Prabhupada went all the way to Lower East to deliver him. That is why Brahmananda Prabhu is saying he is more than God. The translation of this verse is, it is said that great personalities almost always accept voluntary suffering because of the suffering of people in general. This is considered the highest method of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is present in everyone's heart. This is the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu and Nityananda Prabhu's representative, that they go all way out to spread the message of Chaitanya, take all austerities, so that somebody who's there conditioned can get Krishna Prem, can get delivered, can come out of the cycle of birth and death. Brahmananda Prabhu, in one of his memories, he shares this very interesting pastime. He was once secretary to Prabhupada for a very brief period of time, for a very small time. And he saw that Prabhupada, the whole day, the day begins with Mangalarti, then there is morning walk, Prabhupada comes back and has the Darshanarti, the greetings of the Lord, then takes Bhagavatam class. After that, correspondences, there are devotees issues, press reporters, some programs, and then something else, and so many things which are going on. After that, Prabhupada and Brahmananda Prabhu, they were sitting in the backside of the car and they were coming, and Prabhupada dozes off and says, Prabhupada dozes off, and then after some time, Prabhupada he has fallen in the lap of Brahmananda Prabhu. So Brahmananda Prabhu is looking at Prabhupada, Prabhupada is in the lap of Brahmananda Prabhu, and he thinks how much his last bit of energy, is spending to deliver the people of this material world. This is the highest form of worship. This is the mood of Nityananda Prabhu. This is the mood of representative of Nityananda Prabhu. Not just receiving the mercy and staying somewhere and chanting and doing something. No, the whole idea is to preach, to spread this message of Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada took so much of austerity for that. So, there's so many things to be spoken on this, but on this auspicious day, what we can pray, what we can hope, or what should be our consciousness, what should be our mood, what should be our desire. The first and foremost that we should pray, O Nityananda Prabhu, I have got so many material desires. I'm so averse to Krishna, despite the fact that I've been given so many opportunities. Please bless me. Please bless me so that all these material desires go out of my heart. That's the first thing that we should have. And then we should have compassion also because we are all representative of Srila Prabhupada. We are all representative of Nityananda Prabhu. Have compassion for the suffering mentality, suffering humankind, suffering people in this material world. And just compassion is enough? No. Then we should have, when we are in the right mood, and we represent Prabhupada and Nityananda Prabhu properly, then there is an empowerment, and that empowerment can transform another person's heart. That empowerment helps another person to become touchstone. By that empowerment, that transformation is a magic. When you see somebody who's rotting in material world, taking up to devotional life and coming and engaging in devotional service, you can experience the magic. So not just having compassion, but also being empowered to transform somebody's heart, and not just limiting there, also having this transcendental ambition to spread wide and far, like Nityananda Prabhu went all the way, like this highest form of worship which is mentioned in the 8th canto is, Paramara Dhanam Tadhi. This is the highest form of worship, where one is ready to take that austerity and ready to go out of the comfort zone to share and to give this message to the conditioned souls. So, with that we'll stop and see that how Nityananda Prabhu says mercy is still available, and in the form of Srila Prabhupada and his representative, and how we should take it very seriously in our life and be small instrument in the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anybody has any question? Hmm. Hmm. Complete? Mm. Mm. How to get the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu? Is that what it is? Well, in one way, we say Nityananda Prabhu is the most merciful. He delivered the Jagais and Madhais. And probably we feel we are far better than them, but we are far worse than them. They were at least born in Brahmana family. They were there on the banks of Ganges. They were at least taking baths there. I don't know what our qualification is in that way. But the unfortunate thing is we don't consider ourselves to be very fallen. We consider we are very advanced. We have been initiated by Srila Prabhupada. But actually, if you see in one example of, Nityananda Prabhu or Balaram was very affectionate to, in one way, Duryodhan, right? When Krishna was close to Arjun, Balaram was close to Duryodhan. So how do you understand this? That, and despite the fact that Duryodhan was close to Balaram, he didn't get the mercy of Balaram. So what is the thing? So we say that, we have accepted Prabhupada as our guru, but do we know what are the qualities required for a disciple? Are we worthy disciples? So if you see in Bhagavatam, there is a verse which comes, Amoghavik or something, it comes in the 11th. 11.10.6. I'll put it here. Amani amatsaro daksho nirmamo dridha sauhrada asatvaro artha jigyansur anasuyar amoghavak. The servant or disciple of the spiritual master should be free from false prestige, never considering himself to be the doer. He should be active and never lazy, and should give up all sense of proprietorship over the objects of the senses, including his wife, children, home, and society. He should be endowed with the feelings of loving friendship towards the spiritual master, and should never become deviated or bewildered. The servant or disciple should always desire advancement in spiritual understanding, should not envy anyone, should always avoid useless conversation. See how many qualities are there, how many qualifications are required to become a disciple. And if we look in our hearts, where is the question of all this amani without false ego, amatsara not considering oneself to be the doer, daksha without laziness, nirmama without any sense of proprietorship over one's wife, children, home, society, dridha sahrada being fixed in the mood of loving friendship with the spiritual master, asad varaha without becoming bewildered due to material passion, artha jigyansu desiring knowledge of the absolute truth, anasuya free from envy, amoghavak completely free from useless conversation. So unless a disciple has those things, those qualities, the mercy of the Lord also cannot be perceived. Duryodhan, though he was very close to Nityananda Prabhu, but he remained Duryodhan only. So like that, if we want to become full recipient of Nityananda Prabhu's mercy through Srila Prabhupada, we need to develop these qualities. So if we are failing, maybe once in a while, there could be something that happened, like I failed, but you just can't take it as a general rule that I will not chant today, then I will finish it tomorrow and that is okay. That's not okay. It's a vow that we are taking to Srila Prabhupada. Very basic. Chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra every day, following 4 regulative principles. But in Kali Yuga, that also is very difficult. And the more we become casual, because Guru is present through his instructions. And a devotee, like yesterday or day before yesterday when we were talking about, I don't remember which one was it, the Guru issue when we were talking about. The advancement in spiritual life is dependent, it's a cumulative effect of your sincerity in heart and what is the second thing? There, no. And the mercy. But the first thing is sincerity. So sincerity means I should take the words of my spiritual master very strictly. And the purports of all the Vedic literatures are revealed to the extent we are sincere in our heart. Nobody can measure that. ऊपर से तो सब same ही दिखता है. But what is going on in the heart, you know, and the Paramatma and the spiritual master also knows. So the more we become sincere and the more we take the instructions of our spiritual master strictly, the more we will advance in spiritual life. So the answer to one line answer to your question is, yes, they will forgive, but if it becomes deliberate and becomes a practice which we don't realize, then we will remain like Duryodhan. Even though we are having the association of a pure devotee or a representative of Nityananda Prabhu, we will not be able to take advantage of it. Anything else? Nityananda Trayodashi Mahamahotsav ki, Nityananda Prabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.